welcome to the Skin Talk. My name is Johnny. I am based in Northern California, and these are my guest hosts today.
Hello, I'm Marina. I'm account executive for San Francisco. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Marina.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan. I am in Los Angeles. So happy to be here with everyone.
Same here. Glad to see your face.
Michael from Orange County, skin expert. Looking forward to the conversation.
Yes. And we have a very special guest all the way from the UK.
Hi everyone, I'm Matt. I am account executive for the UK and Ireland, and I am based in the very, very grey and wet London at this moment in time.
Oh, is it wet weather out there today?
It's terrible. It's terrible. I've been walking around everywhere with my hands in my pockets so I don't get frostbite. It's
frostbite.
Cold.
That sounds very cold.
Very, very severe, very dramatic. Yeah, very cold.
Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining me today. Today we are going to add in a new topic at the beginning of our show with what are you loving for self-care right now? We'll dive into that. Followed by skin topic of the day, how do you tool with beauty tools? And followed by that is our myth buster, where we talk about AHAs, BHAs, and retinols. And then ask the panel to close it out from a very special person from IPO Profiles, asking about beginner steps in their skin journey. So we will start off with what are you loving? Marina, why don't you start us off, ladies first?
Thank you, Johnny. What I really love to do is for self-care is to light up a candle. And one of my favorite candles is Mullen and Gatz candles. And the one that I really love is a vetiver. It's very earthy, clean. I like their candles because it's a natural blend of wax, but it also is not too fragrant. It's very crispy, clean, earthy fragrance candle. But it also could be your glass. It's recyclable, so you could have a stylish drink in one of those. So it's my favorite for self-care.
A multifunctional use.
Yes.
How does it set the mood for you? Does it put you in a happy place?
Definitely happy, definitely like together with nature, something very relaxing. I have it in every part of different rooms of my house.
I love it. And candles can be very relaxing. Just a simple scent can take you back. And it's important to have safe candles, like Marina said. Thank you, Marina, for that. Dan, why don't you let us know what you're loving right now?
Sure. So I'm sure like many of you, I've been really struggling with chapped lips, especially when I wear the mask. So since wearing the mask, what are we, like 9 months into it? I've tried a million products from, different beauty lines from the drugstore, but I really found a perfect combination. So, Aquaphor, just from the pharmacy. I like the emulsion. It does come in a chapstick, but I like it when it's like the actual emulsion. So I put that on, and then I apply this Dior lip oil. So this is something that I wouldn't normally gravitate towards, but I was talking to a friend and they were like, you absolutely have to pick this up. And it's not sticky, it's hydrating. I love it. So just applying the two of those really lasts a long time while wearing the mask, and I don't have any issues.
Love it. A good friend with a good recommendation.
Absolutely.
Did you see instant gratification from it?
I did. I mean, the thing with like the Aquaphor does bring immediate relief, but it absorbs quickly. So putting the Dior lip oil on top of it, you really do feel it on it, and it instantly relieves any sort of soreness. And so I do this at night, and then I do it before I leave and put on a mask. So I love it. I think it's great.
Yay, that's a great tip.
Very low end and high end as well. So it's a good combination there, yeah.
Good balance. Thank you, Dan. Mike, why don't you talk us a little bit about what you are loving?
I have a hard time struggling sometimes with like, getting my feet to be like baby skin smooth and having like no calluses or any kind of buildup of dead skin. So, I have a really good exfoliation process, but I've been on the search for years for a really good foot cream, essentially. And the one that I found that is so far the best is the Lord Jones CBD Stiletto Cream. Oop, that way.
Stiletto cream. That sounds interesting. Tell us
Yeah.
more.
So basically what it is, it's a really fast and acting cream that has CBD in it. So it allows the skin to actually calm down. So it's kind of weird to think of it that way, that your heels are kind of being more aggressive when they keep building up dead skin. But the CBD really helps calm it down. But the key for me is that typically when you put a foot cream on, it's like, cool, I'm gonna slip and slide. And I don't know how to do the splits, but that's gonna happen, especially when you're on tile. And so now that I have a tile bathroom, I'm like, okay, no, I need something that I can just walk on after applying after I get out of the shower. And this one is so far the best. And it also doesn't feel greasy. And it does, like, I can put my socks right on and it's fine. Whereas most creams you have to wait to dry. Like this one goes right in. It's absolutely phenomenal.
Yes, and do you feel the next day that the relief has helped, or is it pretty instant with the relief?
It's both instant and long term. So now I've been using it for now about a week. And I will say that my heels have never felt better and more hydrated. So that's the key. Like, I don't really wake up feeling like, oh God, my heels again. Like, oh, I can probably grate cheese on these or something like that. But no, now it's smooth and it's nice and it's simple. And I like simplicity. It's a little on the higher end range, but it's definitely worth it because a little bit goes a really long way. So this should last you a long time.
We love the simplicity plus results. Thank you, Mike. Matt, why don't you tell us a little bit what you're loving?
Okay, so my issue my whole life has been my hair. That's been my number one thing, and I feel like I'm going to go into an infomercial at this moment in time. But I've recently discovered this. So this is the Olaplex Zero, and it's a pre-treatment for your Olaplex number 3, which is basically like your intense, nourishing, hydrating treatment for your hair, and it's brilliant for anyone that has over-processed hair, bleaches their hair, dyes their hair, blow dries their hair, straightens their hair, and you essentially whack it on your head on dry hair, leave it for 10 minutes, and then you put anything else on. So you put your conditioners, your mask, your treatments, and it really, really strengthens the bonds of your hair, and it really allows those components of your mask or your treatment to really do what they're meant to do. It accelerates everything. So this, I mean, you can say I got this like maybe 2 weeks ago, and there's half the bottle left. I'm like drenching my hair in it. So
How often do you use it?
I mean, you're meant to use it maybe once a week, but I'm going in like 2-3 times a week. Like my scalp can't get enough of it. So it's working for me. I'm here for it, basically.
Yes, and we love a good hair product. Hair is so important. We kind of
Exactly.
neglect.
And you sometimes forget as well, don't you? Like, I do all of this for my skincare and my body care and all for my home. And then when it comes to hair care, you go, I'm just going to whack a bit of shampoo on and, you know, that's it. So yeah, it's a brilliant addition to a really solid routine.
Yes, and if you need a great hair product, check that one out. That one sounds good.
There you
Well,
go.
thank you for that, Matt. And my personal favorite self-care product right now is going to be CBD oil from Alpha Apothecary. And this has really helped me um, with pain management, some anxiety, stress. And what I personally use it for is every workout I do right before, I have to put it on my knee and on my wrist. I had a sports injury many years ago. So this really helps me get my full reps in. I'm able to maximize my whole workout. Pain isn't so much there, and there's no sticky residue. I'm able to lift the weights, do whatever needs to be done. And on the go, I do like their travel. So I can just open it up, boop, 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 anywhere that you have some pain. It's good for the drive home. But thank you everyone for your contribution to this topic. I learned a couple of new products I really want to check out, especially that candle that caught my attention. So moving along, we are going to go into beauty tools. How do you tool is the question, and beauty tools have really changed the game over the recent years. There are many great tools out there. So we are going to cover just a few of our personal favorite tools. And we'll start off with Matt, our guest.
Okay, so I'm going to go straight in that. Naturally, I have to go for Faceware Pro. This is, when I say it's something I can't live without, I genuinely, it's kind of like renting a room. I couldn't live without it. I was a massive sufferer of cystic acne, especially on my neck, on my cheeks, anywhere that I shaved and there was, an excessive friction on the skin. I'm quite oily in some parts, but then I'm very dry in other parts. And I find it incredibly hard to find a topical product for my skin that would help with breakouts. And I kind of thought, you know what? Is it going to be a gimmick? Is it going to work? It's light. How, we've all read on how effective LED therapy can be in salons and at home. And honestly, I'm scared for the day that something happens and I lose it or I get robbed and it disappears. It is the single best thing I've ever used in my entire life. That blue light, it's completely removed any trace of breakouts on my entire face. So for that, I couldn't fault the Faceware Pro.
Well, now you have to turn it on. You have to turn it on for everybody.
Of course, you can't not turn it on. I'm gonna go
the light emitting diode. We need to see the light.
This is my was gonna be my Halloween, ensemble, until got told we can't leave the house, so then I just kind of scared my cats with it. But now they have flawless skin as well. But yeah, this is my baby.
Is that the setting that you use?
Yeah, I mean, I use the third setting because you're getting the anti-aging, you're getting those blemish busting lights as well. So why not go for all three? Pack them in there while you can.
Exactly. And if you are just watching that, you don't know what we're talking about the settings, there are 3 settings on the Faceware Pro that Matt just showed. The first one is all red light with 4 different red lights. The second is going to be the blue light to kill the acne plus 1 red light for each one. And then the third setting is going to have D, all of the above, all 4 red plus the blue all at once for super anti-aging benefits. So thank you, Matt, for showing that. I'm a huge believer in the LED as well. So we'll kick it off now to Mike.
All right, so the product that I was actually sent by someone who works for the company is the Glow Pro. So it's actually made by Beauty Bio. And essentially what it is it's a dermal roller microneedling device. So the idea is to stimulate production of collagen on the topical surface while helping to minimize pores. There's a lot of caveats to this product or to the things that I do. So anytime I look at a tool device, I tend to research the company a little bit more. I'm looking for clinical studies, things that have done in a third-party atmosphere. I kind of want to know, have you actually tested your product on all scales of the Fitzpatrick scale? I need to know, like, how do I recommend it, essentially, right? So I went to their website. It's not user-friendly. But once I started digging a little deeper, they don't really post any clinical studies. They just post consumer studies, but then call them clinicals. So I think there's a little bit of misleading things on the website that they could address. But other than that, I have used the device. I've had microdermabrasion done before. And I think the key difference here is microdermabrasion is always done horizontally. The Glow Pro, the microneedling device, this guy, you can actually go vertically. So essentially their idea behind it is that they're going to help you to lift the skin while stimulating production, basically trying to tighten it up. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't cause me to bleed because you're not supposed to put pressure. So you could cause yourself to bleed if you are too aggressive. But so far so good. I I don't know if I see results, but I can tell you that it's really easy to use and it's easy to sanitize. So that kind of makes it a little simple for a lot of clients at home.
How long have you been using it?
About a week. So I'm a week in, and it does come with different attachments. So you can do like this one's for the face, and then they have one for the body, the lip, and then the hairline as well. They just launched. So, and that could help stimulate hair follicle production is their idea behind it. I think the biggest concern I have in the tools industry right now as someone who came from a different tools company who was in the regulatory process is there isn't enough regulations on tools in the United States of America. Like they really don't regulate it in the FDA. So if you see a device that says FDA approved and cleared, then that company did their due diligence to make sure they have all testing under the thing. And that gives me a lot more confidence to make the purchase. So if they don't have that on their labeling, then I typically am going to think, okay, they're just trying to fill a piece of a market essentially.
Yeah, the consumer always wants to feel safe, and that is important, but continue to use it, and let's get a before and after possibly on that. I mean, it's an interesting concept that I want to learn more.
Agreed. I'm going to keep going.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Who do we have next? Marina.
All right. So one of my favorite tools, I have many because since being an esthetician, I love tools, is a New Face microcurrent. It's like exercise for your face. It's FDA cleared. All it takes is 5 minutes. The important part, you need oil-free cleanser, and I like our multi-way hyaluronic cleanser. And you need to use a gel every morning, like you really see the difference. And all you do is you turn it on, just like that. And then you do go up, wait for a beep, and you stop. And you do it all over the face. I also do it on my neck. It's really helped toning and firming. If you do it on one part of the face, you really see the difference. That is my favorite, one of my favorite tools.
How long have you been using it?
I've been using it now since, shelter in place. I've been using it for a good while, since February.
Well, you made good use of the shelter in place, didn't you? Love it. I love it. Especially during these times, it's really a great time to add a little more time to your self-care regimen. And a tool is really, really important to add even to your results. I'm excited for this next little product we're going to talk about. Dan, tell us about it.
All right. So about 5 years ago, I moved to California, and when I did, my skin really freaked out, and somebody had mentioned to me that it would be helpful to buy a water filter for the shower. And of course, my skin adjusted and I was fine. But recently I moved again, and after about a month and a half, my skin was itchy and irritated, dry, like overly sensitive. The products, I went and I purchased this water filter for the shower. Super easy to install. You just detach your shower head, attach the filter, and it's removing heavy metals, toxins, chlorine, supposedly infusing the water with vitamins and minerals as well. But I want to say, like, within days, I noticed a difference with my skin. I believe the filter needs to be changed every 6 months, so there is a little bit of upkeep to it. But I can't recommend it, any more than I, highly recommend it. Just like we drink filtered water, why not apply that to the bathroom?
Yeah.
I agree with that, especially where I live, we have a little more harsh water.
Well, California, the pollution is real. Like, moving out here, I immediately felt it. So it's a real thing.
You're not wrong on that. Thank you, Dan, because I've been really interested in a shower head. So I'm looking forward to checking out the one you're recommending.
And Johnny, a fun tidbit of regulatory thing. What Matt and Marina showed are both FDA cleared and approved. So both Dennis Gross and New Face have done the due diligence to make sure their devices are good.
That is a very great and valid point, which now leads me to my personal favorite beauty tool, which is the steamer. And this one, for me, why I have to have this right now is I'm dehydrated, to be honest. I'm more dehydrated. I'm drinking a little bit more coffee, a little bit more pre-workout during my workouts. So I also find I'm not drinking as much water as well. So this is a great way to add hydration, to detoxify, to make your products absorb better into the skin. How I use it is I like to use it when I'm masking with any mask. Personally, a sulfur mask or a hydrating mask. I love putting this on. The molecules are so small that you're not going to drip. Just like if you're in a steam room, if you've ever been one before, you're just dripping and dripping. You're actually dehydrating your body. So with this, there's no dripping, you can see, and it's just, my skin is absorbing the steam, and I drank 2 cups of espresso before this. So now I am a little bit more hydrated. But that is my personal favorite beauty tool right now. It's really helping my skin. And see, you have a nice little glow just after one use. Thank you everyone for your info on the beauty tools segment. I'm excited to check out the shower head for sure. And if anyone is wanting to check out any of the products, we'll have the products listed at the end as well. So moving along, we have another interesting myth buster that has crept up. And this one is talking about AHAs, BHAs, and retinols are only to be used during a certain time of day. So I do all of the above all at once. So now we're gonna dive a little deeper into it. So Dan, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, so this is something that I'm sure we talk about all the time. Before working for Dr. Gross, I actually worked in the medical practices. So these were like professional peels, stronger peels. So I tell people that, look, when you're doing like a professional treatment, yeah, you need to avoid the sun, especially right afterwards. But when you're using at-home products, it's not that same effect. It's more accumulative. It's a buildup of it. So regardless if you're doing it in the morning or doing it at night, yes, there are some products that are nighttime only, but read the directions. And we are all sun sensitive as it is. And using these AHA, BHA at-home products aren't going to make you much more sun sensitive than we already are. You have to wear an SPF. Everybody has to wear an SPF. So, doing it in the morning or doing it at night, is perfectly okay, but don't think that you have to do it just at night. And don't think because you've done it at night and you did it 8 hours ago and now you're out in the sun means you're safe either. It's the same as if you had just done it 20 minutes ago.
That's a very great point, Dan. And what do you currently use as do you have a favorite AHA, BHA?
I would say right now my favorite would be the liquid resurfacing peel by Dr. Gross. I love that because I feel like for my skin, the type of professional peel I would get, I'm getting the same benefit without having to stop using certain products before or after getting it. That way I could just do it once to twice a week and still get that nice tight skin.
And in that one, you can use day or night, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, personally, I use it in the morning because your skin's going to look the best after doing it. So.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Matt, I know you have a little controversy over where you're from. So tell us a little bit more.
I do, and here in the UK, a lot of people are under the impression that in terms of retinol usage, it should very much be dependent on your age as to how many times you use it per week. And of course, that's dependent on what product and where the products come from, whether it's an over-the-counter product, whether it's a dermatologist prescribed product. And this is something I see come up with clients a lot of the time. And, I kind of say to them, it all depends on your skin, not so much how old you are. And you really got to take it step by step and assess your own needs and what you want to gain from your skincare routine. So what I tend to find is, of course, we all know, come the age of about 25, that's when your elastin production starts to decrease, it starts to slow down, and you will start to see signs such as dynamic wrinkles. So when you tense your forehead, you'll get lines in your forehead and around your eyes. That's a really good gauge as to when you can start implementing retinol into your routine. When it comes to AHAs and BHAs, something that I would always say is to look for products that have a neutralizer. And this is something that doesn't necessarily come up in people's minds when they're shopping for products, when they're looking for the best AHA or BHA to use on their skin. They would typically look for the percentage. And again, we see that all the time. They look for a high percentage. Perhaps it's, a glycolic or a lactic, and it's a monoacid peel that can, damage the skin if you're using it too frequently, you're not neutralizing and you're not protecting the barrier of your skin. So I would always opt for, of course, the Dr. Dennis Gross Alpha Beta Daily Peel, because that is neutralizing the acid. So it is stopping them in their tracks. After those 2 minutes, you're having, that glue in between the skin cells lift away so you can shift away those dead skin cells, but you're not over processing the skin. You're not sensitizing the skin, or you're not getting flare-ups, you're not getting dryness or anything like that at all. So that's what I know it's a bit of a mouthful, but that's what I would tend to say to people when it comes to AHA and BHAs. But again, retinol all depends, from my point of view, on what your skin needs, not necessarily your age.
Yes, there are no age brackets for the use of retinol. And always remember, everybody, a true chemical peel is 2 steps. And I'll leave it at
Why is it not a peel?
that. All right, Mike, why don't you take us down your road?
I think with AHAs and BHAs exfoliation in general, you always want to do it in the morning, because what are you trying to do? Put your best face forward, right? So if you're doing it at night, what are you doing? You're getting ready for your dreams, I guess. I have no idea, but I like to do that way. And it's usually with your neutralizers, there's always protections with free radicals on top of it, right? So if you have a really good neutralizer, it's going to have some amino acids, nutrients, vitamins that are going to help protect against free radical damage anyways. So I'm kind of lockstep with everyone else on that one. With the retinols, it depends on percentage, and it really depends on what it's bound with. So what other acid are you putting with that retinol that's going to help minimize the side effects of that, right? So I've seen so many companies use so many different things, but really you have to think of the retinol molecule as a really fast molecule. So whatever acid you add to it, you just want to slow it down. So you're still getting the same amount of dose, but it's not giving those side effects essentially, right? And a retinol can be used day and night. Again, it depends on percentages, and really what Dan said, what's on the box? What does the directions actually say to use? Because that's what it's tested against. So I know we hate to read boxes and directions, but I think that's one of those things, especially when it comes to retinol. Read what the company's providing, because then it'll tell you how to use it.
Yes, you don't want to second guess, especially if it's your first time using. You don't want to have a skin no-no. You just want to have good skin. So read those directions on those boxes.
But I've been using retinol for 16 years, just so everyone knows.
Yeah, about that for me too. Yeah.
I mean, it's working, guys. It is working. So
Yes, and that's why we all look so young, right?
Exactly.
Marina, why don't you round us out?
Yes. So I like it all. I like alpha beta daily peels as well. I believe AHAs and BHAs you could use morning or night. I prefer to use it in the morning because once I put my makeup on, I want to look flawless, dewy, and those provide that for me because I have a dry, sensitive skin. I definitely think it's very important to use retinol. Because that stimulates collagen production, give you plump. And plumpy and get rid of your lines, minimize them. It's a must, for ladies that are in the 40s for sure. But I do use it at nighttime, so best results, less irritation you will see using it at nighttime, but definitely percentage plays a big part of it. Some I know could use it in the daytime, but I prefer to use it at nighttime because I have super sensitive skin.
Yes, and are you using a prescription?
No, I use in Dr. Dennis Gross. Those works the best for me because I have super sensitive skin. I tried many other ones. It's just this is the only thing that works for me, and I know I need retinol.
Yes, and I personally used to use a prescription retinol, and just because it's a higher percentage does not mean it's going to be more beneficial to you. And so just make sure you, like Marina was saying, if you are on the sensitive side, use something that's for sensitive skin. So thank you, Marina, for that. And I just like to throw out my personal favorite retinol product because I've been using this for about 5 years now. And it's the retinol peel pad. And I like it because I have no irritations from it. And the ferulic acid helps deliver the retinol with no sensitivities. So if you are newer to retinol, the Dr. Gross line, ferulic and retinol, will really be more beneficial to your skin for those targeting concerns because the ferulic acid will allow the retinol to be delivered, no irritation. And it's a one step twice a week, so it's easy for me to incorporate. So thank you everybody on the Mythbuster. I hope we provided great information to all of you watching. And we're gonna move along to Ask the Panel. And this is a segment where we have a question from Instagram on our iPeel profiles page that Dan has created. And give us a little tidbit again, Dan, of what it is.
Yeah, so this is just like think of it like an Instagram community. It's just people who love skincare, but getting to know them a little bit better. So it's a questionnaire and, people respond to it, give you their answers, and then tell you their favorite products.
It's a really cool questionnaire. I personally filled one out and it was fun. I did a spousal edition. So that one was really fun to do with my hubby. So everyone check out iPeel Profiles and submit a question. But today we have a special one from @MakeMeUpLisa from Stockton, California, asking, how would you simplify the science talk and guide them with the proper steps for a beginner on a skincare routine? We'll start off with Dan.
Yeah, so, this is something that comes up a lot. We have somebody with a skincare issue. They're either not used to using many products or they've bought something and it's not working. I always bring it back to how I got into this business. When I was a teenager, I had really bad cystic acne and I didn't know how to take care of it. I would go to the dermatologist. He would give me a prescription. I would just get like a medication. I would go into the beauty department. I'd get X, Y, and Z, and I would have like terrible reactions. I was actually using Proactive that helped my skin. It didn't completely clear it up. I don't know, anybody else here use Proactive? It seems to be.
I did. I have a different story for that.
Okay, so yeah, but it was the first like system of like a cleanser, toner, and a treatment moisturizer, so whenever I have somebody, you start off with what they're looking for. But basically everybody needs a cleanser, a moisturizer, SPF. And then, you kind of line them up and you say, well, is this overwhelming for you? And yeah, we can add in like an eye cream and serums, a night routine, but start them where they are, meet them where they are. Don't overwhelm them. If you looked at my steps that I do now, it's overwhelming, but that I have a master's degree in applying my skincare, so a doctorate actually.
Oh, Oh, that's impressive. So yeah, it's all about progression, I would say then, right, Yaron?
Yes, correct.
Perfect. And that leads me to Marina. What are your thoughts on this one?
I think that you have to keep it simple. And, that question does also come up a lot. I would suggest to start with a great cleanser, something gentle, a good moisturizer, and a SPF. Keep it simple.
Yes, the more simple, the more used to they'll get it. And I think that will build their excitement. So keep it simple for now if you're a beginner, and then we can add in as you want. Matt, are you getting a lot of these kind of questions when you're out in your neck of the woods?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we tend to see, especially in London, we see a lot of people not knowing how much to invest in a skincare routine in terms of how much, money, like, should I spend X amount of money on an eye cream, or should I spend more on a face cream, more a cleanser? And one thing we've kind of come up with is saying, however much money you would spend on a bag, be it a handbag or a backpack, if you want to spend £1,000 on a beautiful new designer bag, or £100, that should really kind of resemble how much you spend on your skincare. But then it also goes down to people's lifestyles as well. So how much time are you willing to invest in care and knowing what you're using and how to use it as well? That is a massive, massive factor. And we see a lot of people, of course, that be in a city and having people run around not know what they're doing when they're doing it. You've got to kind of say, well, if you want a quick, simple routine, look at the ingredients you're using, look at the brands you're using. And, so many brands like Dr. Gross, we have like complimentary one-on-one consultations where you can talk to an expert. You can really, really, get to the nitty-gritty of your routine and work out what you need when you need it.
Yes, and you brought up a great point too, that consultations is everything. If you're trying to go out and you're depending on someone just walking around the store and you ask them for advice, it may not be the best advice for your concerns at the time or your skin type.
Yeah.
So I absolutely agree with you, Matt. You need to have that consultation.
Yeah, and it needs to be very much, it's the same as going to the doctors or going to a dermatologist. You need it prescribed for your skin, because those ingredients and that routine and that lifestyle all plays a very important factor in your skincare journey and your routine. So yeah.
Yes, thank you, Matt, for that insight. I think that's really helpful for a few people, at least.
Yeah.
Mike, why don't you wrap us up with what you think?
I've had this question a lot, and a lot of times when I'm out in trainings and things like that, I have found that it's best to just lay it all out on the table. Say, okay, here's what the map looks like. We're going to map out your journey. You can pick up the pieces at the pace in which you want, but this is what the total map looks like, right? And in the way I describe those, each of the processes, it kind of makes sense because I use a lot of analogies, right? So I say, okay, first step is cleanse. Cleanse is when you remove the good, bad, and the ugly. Tone, you've got to follow the cleanse with the tone because it's going to add the good back, which is essentially balancing the skin. Once you're past that stage, which should take you about 30 seconds, then you're going to go to a chemical exfoliation. So you want to do that however often you feel fit for that, chemical exfoliation process. But we do that so we can remove all the dead, damaged skin. So then that way, all the other steps you do afterwards use a lot less product, and it saves you a lot of money in the long run, essentially, right? And then from that point, I always break it down. Eyes are different than face is different than neck is different than body. So it just depends on the thicknesses of it all, right? So if you're going to use something for the eye, it needs to say eye on there because then it has been tested and properly used for it. Serums are the fix it to the skin. So if you have a problem with your skin, whether it be acne, pores, dark spots, wrinkles, the serum is going to fix that problem. That's its job, is to go in there and stimulate that fix it process. Then you add a moisturizer. That just restores moisture balance. So when I hear all these moisturizers saying they're going to fix so many things in the skin, like that's not physically possible because you're just restoring the moisture balance, essentially, that you removed in the cleanse process. During the daytime, SPF. During the nighttime, maybe throw a mask on. Like there's just different things you can do, but that's kind of the core. And I focus on the core and I really map it out for the client because I say, this is what you would experience in a dermatologist's office. Just because you're in a Sephora, Nordstrom, or any other store, you should still feel that same exact process laid out to you that you would get from a derm or a clinical esthetician. So I'd be very upfront with them and say, look, what I suggest, especially if you're worried about your pocketbook, there's a pandemic going on right now, break it down. So start with key steps, like maybe 3 at a time, and then wait a month, get another 2 pieces. So when you have to replenish it, you're not replenishing it at the same time either. You've bought it in steps so you can replenish in steps.
That's a really good strategy, actually, because some may think, oh my gosh, this is a really big number for price. But if you dissect it, you know, $60 here for this month and then $48 the next month, I mean, that's going to be a lot better than I see 108 right now, and I can't. So really great strategy on that one, Mike. I totally 100% agree with you. And I think it's great too to have your client, or if you're a consumer or a client out there watching, get excited about your routine. We only get one face in a lifetime, so we want to preserve it. We want to look our best. Even if you say you don't, you know you do. We all want to look our best. So get excited, do the steps that are going to get you there. We all need to cleanse, like everyone said. We all need to exfoliate, but that can be in your first step if you're a true beginner. And then you want to do your eyes, your moisturizer, SPF. I say a 5-step should be doable, but if not, then do what makes you comfortable to get you to that 3rd, that 4th, that 5th step. Because trust me, once you get excited and see those results, and you have your girlfriend saying, girl, you look 10 years younger, what are you doing? That, trust me, you will want to get that 6th, 7th, and 8th step. But thank you everyone for all of your input. And thank you, Lisa, or Make Me Up Lisa, I should say, for sending me that question on IPO profiles. And just for that, you will be receiving a DG swag bag. Yay! And that will be out in the mail shortly. So thank you again for that. And that takes us to the end of our show. And again, I want to thank my guest host, but especially Matt, all the way in London. Thank you.
Pleasure. It's so good to like see you guys and, you know, reconnect with everything that's going on. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. And is there anything you want to plug in or say to London, the UK?
You know, I did not even just the UK. I just think everyone, you know, everyone's going through really, you know, traumatic times, and people are mentally exhausted. People are anxious and worried. So just, you know, do what you need to do to stay safe and stay sane. And, you know, skincare can help you along the way. Take that 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes at the end of your day just to give yourself some love back, and things will get better.
Those are wise words.
There you go, from a wise man. From a wise man. Yeah. Sort of.
Marina, do you have any last words?
Yes, definitely do self-care, take it easy, stay safe, and we're all going to get through this.
Yes, we are resilient. If we can make it through 2020, this should be a breeze, right?
God, if we can make it through 2020, we're going to go to the moon next year. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Mike, what are some last words you have?
Keep doing your skincare, but just know that, hey, look, at least democracy survived another day. So keep the skincare going, because that's still happening, and we're thankful for that.
Yes, keep your skincare going. And last words from me, stay safe, stay healthy, be nice, be kind. Everyone, just be a little more kind. We all need a little bit more niceness in the world, and your skin and body deserves the niceness and wellness as well. So you're worth it and always worth it. Till next time, everybody. Bye.
Bye.